Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be diving into an experiment that's been on my mind for quite a while right now. What I got here is 2018 Honda Civic Si. I got this car from a Copart auction about a couple months ago, and it was a front-end collision damage, so a lot of front-end parts had to be replaced. So I had to replace the bumper, the hood, the fenders, the radiator support, and many other things here. What is still broken in this car is the air conditioner. And after I replaced the radiator for AC, I've had a hard time finding the proper refrigerant that goes into this car. This Civic Si is designed to run on 1234yf refrigerant. 1234yf been introduced in 2013, but it's been a mandatory for all new vehicles. So I believe since 2020, none of the new vehicles can be using older 134A refrigerant in it. Any new vehicle since 2020 is supposed to have 1234yf, which is new eco-friendly refrigerant alternative. It's been out since 2013, yet it's still hard to come by this refrigerant in stores. None of my local stores here in Pittsburgh carry it, and I can't find anything in Walmart or any of the auto parts store. What I can find instead is the older 134A refrigerant. This is the refrigerant that you can easily find in store in Walmart or in auto parts store, and this stuff you can only buy on Amazon, or if you order it from some auto parts stores online, but like I said, none of them carry it in stock. This one is actually from one of my previous projects. At that point I just had to top it off, so I needed to buy exact the same refrigerant. Now in case of this Honda Civic, since it came with the front-end collision damage, the radiator was completely trashed because it was a front-end collision and because I had to replace the radiator. So I decided to use this in my advantage, and instead of refilling it with original 1234yf, I'll just go ahead and buy 134A and see if it will work just as fine. What are the drawbacks? Again, I'm not sure, we have to test it out, but there are a few things you need to know about this refrigerants. The one most important thing you need to know is you absolutely cannot mix two refrigerants together. So if you do have 1234yf in your system currently, you cannot top it off with 134A. It's just not gonna work like that, and it can be actually illegal depending on where you add, because mixing refrigerants is against the EPA regulations, and there are valid environmental and safety reasons for it. So we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna fill up the system with 134A and see if it works. This Civic is actually from 2016, which is way before 2020, when this refrigerant became mandatory for all of the new cars. Actually, all of the cars that I have here are using 1234yf at this point, but most of them are after 2020. So at this point, like I said, it's really hard to tell why 1234yf is still unavailable in stock at most auto parts stores. That question remains a mystery. So can you make 134A work inside the system that is designed for 1234yf? Short answer, yes, you can. But it's not without its risk, and we'll cover that in a moment. But there are a few key differences you need to understand before attempting something like this.
Alright guys, before we get our hands dirty, let's break down how an AC system works in your car. And what's a better way to do that than with a whiteboard and a goofy scientist outfit? So here's the idea. Your car's AC uses a refrigerant that cycles through the system, soaking up the heat inside where you sit and dumping it outside where you don't care. The evaporator inside cools the air by turning the refrigerant from a liquid to a gas, and then the compressor squishes that gas into a high-pressure soup which heads to the condenser, where it actually cools back down and returns to a liquid form. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortably chilled. Now, we often think of heat as just the temperature, like how hot it is on the surface. But what really matters is the amount of heat energy measured in BTUs, which stands for British Thermal Units. Fancy, right? 1 BTU heats a pound of water by 1 degree Fahrenheit. But once the water hits 212 degrees Fahrenheit, it takes a whopping 970 BTUs just to make it boil and turn into steam. The same idea applies to refrigerants. when they change from a liquid to gas, they suck up a ton of heat, which is what cools your car down. But there's the kicker. Refrigerants have their own unique boiling points, depending on the pressure. If you lower the pressure, they boil at a lower temperature, just like boiling the water in a vacuum. Now check out these two graphs. 134A and 1234yf have very similar curves, meaning they act pretty much the same in terms of temperature and pressure. So by my very scientific conclusion, R-134A should work as a substitute, may tweak efficiency a bit, but probably won't blow the compressor or anything else in the system.
Another thing you should know, 134A and 1234yf use a different style connectors on the low side port, and you absolutely cannot connect the 134A can to your 1234 system. Now, in order to go around it, I just bought a connector for 1234yf system. From here, I can go to a standard gauge port and connect it to the system. I can connect my gauges directly to 134A cylinder and just dump the refrigerant into that low side port. With that being said, it's time to pump the vacuum onto this system and see what happens. So we'll sit here and wait till it reaches about 500 micron vacuum, and then we'll be ready to dump 134A into that system. Alright, it looks like we are now down to 490 microns, and at this point I think we should stop pulling the vacuum. I can probably leave it for longer and go even deeper, but 490 microns is a pretty good deep vacuum. At this point we are safe to put 134A inside of this system. Now, one more thing to mention here is let me just shut off this vacuum pump. One more thing I should mention here. This 134A tank that I'm using is actually a pure refrigerant, unlike the one that you can find in a can in the Walmart or the auto parts store. Those ones come with oil in them, which may be incompatible with the oil that you currently have in your system. So I got this oil that is specifically designed for 1234 systems, and I put a couple ounces of this oil inside the radiator when I installed it. Now I'm absolutely sure that the oils are compatible, and 134A is actually also compatible with this type of oils. And we're gonna turn the AC on. AC on. Below maximum cold. Technically, you're supposed to charge the amount that is written on that label. Unfortunately, because we have a different refrigerant with a completely different property, you can't go by the label anymore. I weighted in an approximate amount and put it into the system, but now I'm just gonna observe the pressures and see if my pressures correspond roughly to where I'm expecting to see the cooling effect. So right now, if you look, the 134A scale is sitting somewhere around 40 degrees, which means our evaporator coil is at 40 degrees, and this is pretty good. This is where we want it to be. So we got the system charged. Now let's check the temperatures inside the car and see if we are running any cooler than before, which I think we should. Oh yeah, I can tell this is blowing pretty cold air. So the temperature inside of the air ducts is measured at 36 degrees, which is actually pretty good. I didn't expect it to be 36 degrees. I think the coil cooled down a bit after it ran through the system, and now I can feel it's blowing pretty cold air. I measured roughly about the same amount of refrigerant as it was on a label, despite it's being completely different refrigerant, so the properties are different, but roughly I figured it will be about the same amount. I have to say this experiment was pretty successful. I'm gonna have to run this car for about a couple weeks and see if there will be any kind of degradation in the cooling effect. So the gauges are showing that our evaporator coil is somewhere around, it's a little below 40 degrees, so about 36 degrees, and that's where we see the air duct temperatures are. It looks like it's working fine. Woo! I can say it's already much cooler than before. So in the end, I should say this experiment shows that R-134A can work inside the R-1234yf system, but there's a significant trade-offs and risks that come with this kind of swap. So I did it because the unique situation with my car, but for the most people, sticking with the recommended refrigerant is probably safer and more reliable option. If you found this experiment interesting or helpful, be sure to like, share and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you ever had to do something like this similar. See you in the next one.